Back at the sunrise. Let me see if I can make it dimmer. There it is. Look at how beautiful it is. See, one of the interesting things is the play of the opposites in life. I mean, take for example, black and white, or up and down, or figure and background. I mean, for example, you're watching this video and you're seeing me, and you also see the background, the sky and the green grass and everything. But we most of the time we ignore the background. We don't notice it most of the time. We notice what is noteworthy, what catches our attention. But you see, the background is just as important for your ability to see me as the figure. Because for what would happen if we removed the background? I would also disappear. I mean, look at this. Let's remove the background. I mean, I also disappear. Now, for example, the background is this jacket of mine, and the figure is the zipper. Do you see that there is always a figure in the background? I mean, when you look at the sky, most of the time, right now there are no clouds there, but when there are clouds, we notice the clouds, and we leave out the sky. It's almost like we don't notice it. And it's like this with so many things in life. This is the way our conscious attention works, that we notice what is noteworthy and leave out the rest. I mean, just think about music. When you're hearing music, or any kind of sound, what you're really hearing is sound and silence alternating between each other. Because you can't have one without the other. It's not like you're just hearing sound, or they have to exist with one another. This is what in Taoism is called mutual arising. For example, bees and flowers arise mutually, or the apple. I mean, because you can't have bees without flowers and flowers without bees. They cooperate with each other. It's like they're one organism. And I mean, yes, they look different. You see, my hair looks different from my head, but it's the same organism. It's the same works, doing its thing. Or for example, the apples from the apple tree. They're inseparable. They go together, they arise mutually. And there are so many things in life that are like this. For example, space and solid. You see, it's so often we leave out space. I mean, sometimes we don't even notice that it's there. Or maybe we say, yeah, I mean, it's important that it's there because there's air in there, and we would, suffocate if there weren't. But see, every artist, every architecture student knows the importance of space when drawing. You see, in some kind of Zen drawing style, the artist wakes up the canvas and puts life into it just by filling out a little corner, because he uses the space. He realizes the importance of space and the inseparability of space, of the background and the figure, of space and solid. And this kind of opposition, it's the same with life and death. You see, so far we have seen that although they seem to be in opposition with each other, they are actually in a hidden unity, that they cannot exist without one another. So you see, life and death, and up and down. So life and death is really the name for the same thing, the same process. Because you can't have a human that doesn't die and is born. And you can't have a human that is never born and just dies. They have to exist with each other. You see, death and life. You see, life really is the alternation of death and life. People live and people die, and this process keeps on going, but that is life. And you can't have one without the other. It's just as important. And it's just the same, for example, with holidays and work days. You see, if you didn't have, of course, any holidays, any time off, let's say, and if you just worked, then you see, you would get burned out. It would be awful. But if you only had holidays, just leisuring, just putting your legs up on the beach and everything, you will get sick of it. It's like the sour grapes, or you get burned. You burn your hand pursuing pleasure. You see, it's like this with so many things in life. The play of the opposites. I find it so interesting. And you can also think and leave in the comments these kind of opposites. I mean, almost everything is like this. For example, you as self, and the rest of the world as you perceive it as other. You can't really exist without one another. You as a self can't exist without everything else also being there. You arise mutually. And also this means that the external world doesn't exist without you. I mean, there is no... that sunrise, you see. Let me just dim it. That sunrise, it wouldn't have that color if there were no minds to perceive it. It wouldn't be, I wouldn't feel its warmth if there was no skin and brain to perceive it. So you see, self and other is also inseparable, which means that they go together. They are really one. It's interesting. So yeah, that's about it. Goodbye.